We see Barb wake up in an empty pool full with vines. She can't get out and calls out to Nancy, but she's preoccupied with Steve. As she tries to get out, she's dragged inside. Nancy then decides to head home. Upon arriving, her mom is upset, but she makes up a lie on why she didn't return at 10 p.m. In the morning, Jonathan hears his mom calling out to Will. She has gathered some lights and is calling his name. She then says that Will is trying to talk to her. Jonathan must pay attention, but he doesn't believe it. She says that something's going on here, but he thinks that Will is just lost. The boys are planning to find Will, but Lucas doesn't believe that there's anything like a Demogorgon out there, but is ready when it comes down to it. Dustin says that L's sufficient for them. Mike then tells her to meet them at the power lines outside at 3:15 after school. Nancy's getting strange looks from the girls. She wants anyone told about them, but Steve claims that no one did. Barb's seat is empty. Hopper arrives at Hawkins' lab and wants a tour inside, but he gets denied. When he mentions a missing boy who might be on the grounds, he's told to go through Mr. Schaefer first, but he talks him down and asks for just 10 minutes. Elle leaves the basement. She sits in the chair and then goes through some channels. When she sees a bottle of Coke, it reminds her of a moment at the lab with a Coke can in front of her. She then concentrates on the can and then crushes it. Dr. Brenner is happy about the result. Joyce takes out Christmas lamps and then begins hanging them on the walls. At the store, she purchased several more. Meanwhile, at the lab, Hopper wonders if Will could have crawled his way in. When the man says that it is impossible due to every inch being filmed by cameras, he asks him for the tape. Inside, Hopper wonders what they're up to. When he asks if it's about keeping up with the Russians, the man affirms it. When they check the cameras during the times of the disappearance, there's nothing to see. Hopper then says that he didn't see any rainfall on the tape of that night. Eleven walks around the house and looks around in Nancy's room. She sees pictures and feels sad. Nancy asks the guys if they've seen Barbara, but they don't really care. She then sees Jonathan pass by. Meanwhile, the boys wonder about Eleven's powers. Some bullies come up and mock Will. They then tackle Mike. Jonathan's in the red room, looking at the pictures he took. When a girl walks in, he quickly removes them. Joyce has hung many lamps around the house, hoping that she can connect to Will. Karen then visits her, bringing some food. Hopper comes to the library, trying to find through old newspapers more about Hawkins' laboratory. He reads articles on the experimentation on children by Dr. Brenner. As Joyce speaks to Mrs. Wheeler, Holly sees some lights turn on. She follows them into the room with a bunch of lamps. She then suddenly hears something near the wall. The wall then protrudes and Joyce grabs her away. She thanks Karen and tells them to leave. Nancy calls Barb's mom but finds out that she didn't return yesterday night. When her mom thinks she was staying with Nancy, she pretends she forgot about it and says that Barb's actually at the library. When Jonathan's leaving, Steve says that Nicole told him that he's been taking their pictures. They take his bag and then take a look at the pictures. He also shows Nancy the picture he took of her. Steve then destroys the pictures and then drops his camera. Nancy sees Barb and then takes some of the torn pictures. Eleven is waiting for the boys. When she sees a cat, she remembers an experiment with a cat. When she refused, Brennan locks her up again, but just as they're about to close the door, she pushes the man away and takes out the other one. Brenner comes inside, says that it is incredible, and then takes her into his arms as he walks down the hallway. The boys are there and say they have only a few hours left. When Elle asks about this incident, he tells her that he was tripped by a bully, but he felt shy to tell her. Nancy checks Barb's car, but it is still standing on the road. She also checks the backyard and hears some sounds in the forest. Something's in the vicinity, so she runs off. The lights go on and the dog barks. Joyce sits in a closet and holds some lights and asks Will if he's here. The lights then go bright. She asks him to blink once for yes and twice for a no. He then responds with a yes. She then asks him if he's alive and the lights go on. When she asks if he's safe, they blink twice. She then needs to know how she can help him as she cries. However, she then has the idea to put letters above each lamp to communicate clearer. Nancy tells her mom that something happened to Barb. Calvin says that the articles on Terry Ives seems like she's nuts for thinking that her child was taken for LSD mind control experiments. Hopper then shows him Brenner and says that it is a CIA-sanctioned research. The piece of fabric they found looks exactly like the hospital gowns in the picture the kids are wearing. They may have taken Will. They're then called and leave immediately. The kids arrive at the buyer's residence. They say it is Will's house, but she tries to tell them that he's hiding here. Lucas says that they're wasting their time. They then see cop cars and an ambulance. They chase it down. Joyce finishes the letters and asks him where he is. The lights then begin flickering and he spells, "Right here." She's worried and asks what she should do. He then spells, "Run." And then the wall disfigures and the creature comes out. Hopper arrives at the scene and they're taking someone out of the waters. The boy's wearing the same clothes as Will. Hopper leaves and Mike says that it can't be. Mike's angry with Eleven and says that she said he was alive. He then runs off. Joyce is running but she sees Jonathan. Mike comes home crying and hugs his mom. And so does Jonathan.